Dortmund 2, Bayern München 3. Wow, that was a very, very old school that classic here where we were going back and forth. And honestly, I just want to say, Bayern Munich, we caught life, brother. We got away and barely got away. That was a very hectic match to watch. Honestly, I have not been this glued to my TV or my PC screen in a while. I thought it was a very interesting match to watch. Honestly, man, there were so many points and so many things that I can speak about. First and foremost, I want to speak about how close it was. It was a very, tight game. This is the kind of games that kind of decide who wins the title. I wouldn't really necessarily say that Dortmund is in a title race with us officially yet. Who the hell is calling me every time I want to make a video? My homegirl calling. Anyway, we don't got time for her. We got time for Bayern Munich. I just want to say that it's very interesting nonetheless. The way we were set up today was sensational. I actually like the squad, the team that we set up, how we set up the 4-2-3-1. Who was playing where was also quite interesting. I mean, we start with Serge Gnabry in the 10, and I know that creatively, when it came to the creativity wise of things, we were poor. And you could see it from the first half how poor we were. Honestly, that was one of the worst first halves that we have had in a while. I honestly believe that Dortmund was the better team in the first half and even the beginning of the second half. So if you want to speak about the totality of things, I genuinely believe that Dortmund should have maybe nicked a point from us. It should have been a draw if we're going to be completely honest and just look at the stats and the facts. But when it comes to like the overall of the game, who dominated and all that stuff, who had more shots and who created more, who had the ball more, blah, 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 blah. Bayern Munich obviously had the ball more, but that's not how Dortmund is set up. They are very a pragmatic team that is heavily relying on just pressing us and set pieces. They know our two weaknesses. The two weaknesses I've been preaching about for the past couple of weeks now, actually. The set pieces, I remember I said that we are starting to form this habit of conceding a lot of set pieces, and people were not listening to me, unfortunately. See, now I remember saying that company, we should be focusing on the set pieces, but unfortunately no one is listening to me. But it is what it is. So set pieces, this is another thing we've been struggling on, and that's where the first goal comes from. Slotterbeck scores from a set piece. Great goal, by the way. I don't know what kind of duel that was from Kane. He was just jumping straight up, didn't go towards the ball, didn't go for the ball. But hey, it is what it is. They scored that. I'm very glad that we're giving Ulrich the time to play these big games, because honestly, I think this is probably the last season with Neuer, maybe the almost last season. If this is not his last, next year is probably his last. And we're giving him the time, and we're giving him the space and the ability to grow. And honestly, I think he didn't really have any mistakes on him today. He played a quite good game, and honestly, I don't understand the Bayern fans that are saying he should be a second goalkeeper option and we should buy another goalkeeper. He should be our main number one goalkeeper and we should invest into him. That's my preference. That's my opinion, and that's my preference, to be completely honest. What really saved us, honestly and genuinely, was the penalty. If the penalty wasn't scored, I don't think we would win, because the way they were countering us, one thing that I've also always said, the way they were countering us was outrageous. And once again, how did they counter us? Like I've always preached, it's always from the wingers, especially because how they counter us it always comes from either the right side. It all depends on which player is playing where. If Stanisic is on the pitch, and if it's Davies on the other side, then normally they go for the left side and the right hand side. But this time around, they really were pushing heavy on the Adeyemi side because they knew they had pace on us. So Adeyemi would go back, and the way they kind of like drew Upamecano towards the right back kind of area, and then Adeyemi would just absolutely blitz him on pace, and that was what was happening. And they were doing it on both sides, actually. Even with when Maximilian Bayer was playing, before he got subbed off, what they would do is, like, because we have two heavy centre backs, we have Upamecano and Jonathan Tah. Both of them are not very like pace kind of oriented players. So what they would do is they will give a ball to Adeyemi, but in the way so that Adeyemi looks like he will be kind of meeting, so he will kind of take Upamecano with him towards the ball, and then he would just blitz behind him. And they did that a couple of times, and I don't know why the hell Upamecano was not thinking, okay, he will do it again, because he was falling for the same trick over and over again. And then they'll cut in, shoot, and then the rest is history. And they kept doing that way too many times, and it was a little bit annoying that we were not trying to actually lock down on this. But it is what it is. We won the game. That's the most important part. And we won by a freak goal from Joshua Kimmich. Once again, what did I say? One of the best CDMs in the world. I said that he's probably top 3, top 2. Right now, currently, I don't really believe there's any competition in the CDM position right now as we speak. Sure, you can say Declan Rice. Kimmich destroys him in most aspects of the game. You can speak about Vitinha. You can generally say any CDM in the world, and I will put in a great case for Joshua Kimmich. He has been very, 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 very good, and he has been very consistent for the past decade. And wow, very sensational player. He's been playing for Bayern Munich almost now 9 years, if I'm correct. And most of those years he's been sensational for us, and I've enjoyed every single year with him, except maybe the first year of Nagelsmann. I think that was the first year I was like, this is a little bit shaky. But other than that, I think he has been very consistent for the past decade. Who do I want to give my credits to? When Musiala came and Serge Gnabry got subbed off, you could definitely see there was a huge difference in when creating the chances between the players. And, but this is all just based on the class and the quality of the players. Serge Gnabry is not supposed to be our 10, but, due to having injuries and stuff, it is what it is. And when Stanisic actually got injured at first, I was a little bit scared. I thought, and honestly, man, low-key, Schlotterbeck should have gotten a red card, because that was a very, very risky tackle. But once again, I think he got the ball. And honestly, Pavlovic also did a similar tackle previously in the previous game. So I think that was a very fair decision. If this is how they officiate the game, then it's a very fair decision, because Pavlovic also should have gotten a red card in the previous game that we played. And honestly, I thought it was a reckless tackle, and it was literally the same tackle. So Schlotterbeck getting a yellow, it is what it is. It happens. Just same way we kind of got away, and Pavlovic, I don't even think he got a booking. That's how crazy it was. So once again, we got a little bit saved by penalty and a free kick goal by Kimmich. But honestly, man, Dortmund was playing sensational today. I feel a little bit bad for Emre Can after these. Was it the second time he fell? It looked like it was over for him, man. I feel really bad. I just want to say this guy has been so consistent in so many years. And I just want to say get well soon, bro. But honestly, I want to give a shout out to a couple of players from the other side. Like I said, Adeyemi actually had a great game. Maximilian had a fantastic game. And even Felix Mcha had a good game. And Schlotterbeck was a sensational centre-back. That was the way he was playing. I understand why people say he's arguably one of the best centre-backs right now currently around. And I get it, because he is so good and so phenomenal. And wow, man, it was sensational. But shout out to him. Shout out to Michael Olise. I think he was a little bit poor today. I didn't think he was like that great of a player today. So I'm just giving him a shout out just because he's my twin. But other than that, I don't think he was that great. But Harry Kane, once again, excellence. Even though the penalty was a little bit shaky, I think overall his game was absolutely sensational. And this is why we bought him for $100 million. This was amazing. I mean, Harry Kane, this is the guy. Best striker in the world. Best player, arguably, in the world. This is Harry Kane we're speaking about. And I can't wait to see him lift that Champions League trophy and, cement himself in the history books, because he deserves it. He's arguably English best striker in the world. And you can even say all time. You can even have an argument for that, almost. I wouldn't say so yet, but there will be an argument if he wins the Champions League. And I think, honestly, even though Upamecano got a little bit caught out a couple of times, I think he had a great game overall. He was able to, quiet down Odeme to some degree. And one of the players that I was a little bit disappointed on, actually, was Silva. I think his name is Fernando Silva. I'm a little bit uncertain how to say his name again, but I don't know, man. I think he had a very poor performance today. I was the striker of Dortmund. Was it Fabio Silva? Yeah, Fabio Silva. Wow, man, yeah, that guy was ass. And it's great that they put in Guirassy straight away and kind of understood that this the kind of game it would be, because the minute Guirassy came on, he was a headache for Jonathan Tah. Anyway, comment down below what you guys think. Do you guys think we deserve the win? Honestly, I genuinely don't believe we deserve the win. I think we kind of got away with it, and that's just the non-biased side of me when it's talking. But honestly, I don't care. I'm a Bayern fan. Get in, lads. Get in. Yeah. Ich. But anyway, see you lot in the next one. Comment down below what you guys think about the game. As always, I've been Yoonis, and I'll see you lot in the next one. Peace.